Good evening. Welcome at this farewell dinner, which we've been holding for a couple of years now, and every time it's a farewell dinner, but a year later there's another farewell dinner, but you keep coming back, which we dearly appreciate. Before we start off, I would like to ask Colin Mills, chairman of the Taxi Charity Organisation, to do the opening words. Colin, please, thank you.
I have some sad news to share before my speech. Bill Lawson, familiar to many of us, died last night at home in Ilminster with his son and his daughter-in-law at his side. He was 104. Bill fought throughout the 6 years of World War II as an RAF wireless operator, acting as a link between the Army forces on the ground and the RAF fighter and bomber aircraft in the air. He served in the Middle East, in the Desert War and in the invasion of Sicily and Italy. He was one of the great generation we will always remember. You have to excuse my Dutch. Dam en heren, is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, veterans, volunteers, cab drivers, supporters and friends. It's an honour and a privilege to stand here in this historic place on such a significant anniversary, the 80th year since the liberation of the Netherlands. Every time we return here, we are reminded not only of the past, but of the deep connection between our nations. That bond has only grown stronger through the years, forged in war, but carried forward in peace. One of the striking differences between our two people lies in how we have dealt with the memory of war. For many of our British veterans, after the war ended, their instinct was to forget, to come home, find work, build families and move on. Most didn't talk to their children about what they saw or what they endured. They locked it away, buried deep. But the Dutch, you are different. You remember. You ensure your children and your grandchildren remember. You don't allow the stories of suffering, resistance, sacrifice, liberation to fade. You honour those who came from afar, those who gave their lives and those who lived to tell. And in doing so, you've given back to our veterans that they never expected. A safe place to remember. A reason to speak. A sense of pride. As you spend time in the company of veterans, you begin to hear small snippets of their stories. And piece by piece, like fragments, a puzzle, eventually, a picture begins to form. And with that picture comes a deeper understanding of why they didn't speak for so long. Because what they carried was heavy and painful. One of those men was my dear friend Norrie. Not long ago we lost him, but not before his story finally came to light. For over 90 years, Norrie remained mostly silent about what he had seen. But through his involvement with the taxi charity, surrounded by his veterans, by speaking with our volunteers and cab drivers, and by feeling the warmth and respect shown here in the Netherlands, he began to open up. And his family, for the first time, learned his story. And now, that story will never be lost. Norrie will be remembered. What always amazed me was how much Norrie loved coming here to the Netherlands. He had never actually fought on Dutch soil, yet he was treated as he is as a hero, a liberator. And through your kindness, he came to understand that sacrifices of your comrades, even those who fell elsewhere, were not made in vain. And so, on behalf of Norrie and all of the veterans we are proud to support, thank you. Thank you for remembering. Thank you for honouring these wonderful men and women in such a special and heartfelt way. You have given them something precious, not just gratitude, but a legacy. Thank you. Absent friends. It's an age-old custom to drink a toast to absent friends. We drink to those we miss the most and those we used to tend. We bring to mind the poor, distressed, and earnestly disclaim. We raise our glasses, who we're blessed. We hold you not to blame. We think of those whom fortune's wheel has made but half a turn. To those who have journeyed far and wide, and to their safe return. To those who have gone by air, land and sea, a safe journey on the way, may their hopes come true, wherever they be, and happiness come to stay. On those who've gone to eternal rest, the sun shall not more set. So raise your glasses, hosts and guests, that we may not forget. Absent friends.
Absent friends.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Colin. Dear veterans, friends, distinguished guests, drivers, carers, and all those involved in the Liberation Weekend 2025. My name, for the many who do not know me, and even better so, is Roger Bates. I'm ambassador of the taxi charity in the Netherlands, together with friend Samelan, who will address you later, I'm sure. Tonight we say farewell again, as we have done on many occasions in previous years. And we always said this was the last time. But still, you always return. Unfortunately, every year with a fewer heroes. May they rest in peace. Thank you for your service. Ladies and gentlemen, veterans, heroes of past and present, and those who are just trying to keep up. We're gathered here tonight, no, not to join two people in holy matrimony, but we're joined by a couple of distinguished guests. First of all, the most distinguished guest from the United Kingdom, of course, and dearly beloved veterans with combined almost more than 1,000 years of experience. Applause. And second, from a land across the North Sea, who welcomed the veterans earlier at Bronbeek, please welcome the Deputy Ambassador of the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland to the Netherlands, His Excellency Mr. Keith Allen. He is here, as always, representing Her Excellency the Ambassador, Mrs. Joanna Roper, who unfortunately has more royal obligations tonight. That's why she also sends, alongside with the Deputy Ambassador, and armed with only good manners and a firm handshake, the Defence Attaché Colonel Piers Chadwick, who assures us that his only reason for being here is for the dessert, and not a reconnaissance mission. Welcome. And it wouldn't be a proper gathering this year, and not because the celebration of 8 years of liberation and freedom, without not one, but two civic heavyweights. We have Mayor Vermeulen, who represents the fine people of Wageningen, and Mayor Agnes Schaap, the pride of the municipality of Renkum. We were told they'd settle their municipal cooperation later, but as Agnes will be leaving us within a fortnight, they only have less than 10 days to finalize it. Now, as this all-star lineup weren't enough to make you shiver, history in the boots. One of our mayors has an important announcement, and before he leaves us, because duty calls, unfortunately, so important, in fact, that it was kept under a tighter wraps than a Colonel's chicken recipe. What could it be? A statue? A street name? Free parking for all the veterans forever? Or maybe like Mayor Schaap. Is he leaving as well? No. May I invite Mayor Vermeulen to reveal just what everyone from this Genesis, from generals to janitors, is buzzing. Thank you. Oh, the singing together.
Musical performance.
It won't be a musical performance. Thank you so much, Roger, for this good introduction. Great. Yeah, we are standing here, and let's us first of all thank you so much for what has been a fantastic day today. And without your involvement, it wouldn't be the celebration and commemoration we had in Wageningen. So thank you also on behalf of my colleague Agnes Schaap. It was a real solemn and also very good and wondrous celebration. The parade didn't seem to end. It was a very long one. And of course, all you veterans at the front of the parade. That was amazing again. So thank you so much for being here in Wageningen. That has been a fantastic 80-year celebration, of course, but we wouldn't let this moment pass without thanking you, but also thanking one person in particular that we would like to thank, and that is Mr. Dick Goodwin. And Dick, can you together with Susie come forward?
It's just because I needed something to do.
Yeah, well, we'll tell that later. Please come forward. And we will tell that to you.
Okay.
We will thank you. And that is because, thanks to you, Dick, that from May 2nd to May 6th, these iconic London taxis of the taxi charity of military veterans come to Wageningen and help us mark this important anniversary. And because of your efforts, veterans are able to attend a wreath-laying ceremony last night at the military cemetery of Gebberberg in the last day. They were present here in Wageningen at midnight. Of course, with the help of others, but when the Freedom Flame was lit and they were able to take part in this moment's celebration parade. And this is not the first time that you helped make that possible. Far from it. Because this marks, as we have been told, the 20th year you've arranged these trips. Is that correct?
2012. Well, it starts in 2010, first trip. 2012. Yeah.
2010, first trip, 2012. So that's quite.
Stop there because you're spoiling my speech.
But you can correct me then in your speech later. You're truly the key driving force behind the taxi charity for military veterans. And since 2004 you have built lasting connection between London taxi drivers and British and Polish military veterans, enabling them to visit the battlefields of the Second World War. Also here in our region, the presence of these veterans at events such as the Airborne March in Oosterbeek, of course, the Airborne commemorations around Arnhem, and the Liberation Parade here in Wageningen, as I told before. It leaves a profound impression every year. Not only on the veterans here, but also on the tens of thousands of Dutch citizens who attend. It gives the people of the Netherlands a chance to show their deep gratitude and respect to the men and women who risk their lives for our freedom. We experience that again today. But what you do goes far beyond just arranging the transport. Behind the scenes you organize entire travel programs to former battle sites in the Netherlands, which you even scout in advance at your own expense. You arrange the ferry crossings, accommodations, meals, medical care, and sponsorships. You coordinate with the authorities, emergency services, ceremony organizers, and local schools. You make sure that veterans can share their experience with students, creating powerful connections between younger generations and those who served. You help make young people aware that peace should never be taken for granted. You even, this goes on a little further, you even organize visits for Dutch students to places such as the Imperial War Museum and the Royal Hospital Chelsea in London. And during the COVID pandemic, it was your initiative to have Dutch school children send letters and cards to British and Polish veterans. Dick, Mr. Goodwin, your care and dedication to hundreds of veterans over years, your empathy, professionalism, calm demeanor, and friendly approach, we all know that, have helped so many feel at ease, veterans and caregivers alike. You give them the confidence that everything will be taken care of, also our mayor. And you do all of this in your free time, unpaid, and always with the invaluable support of your wife, Susan. We all know that the taxi charity was, of course, rightfully awarded the Queen's Award for voluntary service a few years ago, but you personally have never received any formal honor until now, because today we are doing just that. That was what we are doing. So therefore, I'm proud and honored to announce, also on behalf of my colleague, that His Majesty King Willem-Alexander of the Netherlands has appointed you, Richard Thomas Goodwin, as Knight in the Order of Orange-Nassau. Ridder in de Orde van En meneer Schaap wil nou It was a bit unexpected, he says. Well, that's how we should do it. Congratulations.
If you're not hungry, I'll do my speech now, okay? There's nothing hot over there, going to get cold, is there? Or whatever. It's all right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very, very unexpected. I just get my glasses.
Please stay there. Please.
Just get my glasses.
It's not over yet. It's not over. Susie, please come forward. I've got a little afterburner, which is something many of you know, that Dick and Susie are cat lovers. They love their cats to bits. And when I was awarded my MBE recently in September on the British Embassy, I received a very, very nice gift from the taxi charity, which was a stiff bear with a maroon beret and a miniature MBE medal around his neck. With this opportunity, Dick is given this really, really deserved medal. I made something that makes him really, well, I don't know what he will say, but this is something. It is a stiff cat with a medal wearing 4 clocks. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Well, that was so unexpected, really was. Stuck for words. Luckily, I prepared a speech. Please get a drink if you want to. I won't be offended. So, right, let's get into that. Not too long, so should be okay. Right, dear brothers. Oh, sorry, wrong speech. But I'll start the same. Sorry about that. We had a very successful trip to Normandy just after I joined the charity, 2006 into 2008. I thought we can do this again. I've been coming to the Netherlands since the late 90s, and I went to France in 2010, and I said, do you think we could do something with the cabs over here? And Fran said, yes, we can. Obviously, it's no point coming for Market Garden because it's too busy, so won't you come for Dutch Liberation? So, we started putting the plans into action. So, if any of you aren't having a good time, it's because of Fran's. This is all Fran's idea, okay? So we first came over in 2012, got the money together, and then we had a wonderful trip, such a warm welcome. It was just unbelievable to see the way the Dutch people took the then 160 veterans to their hearts. It was absolutely amazing. Sadly, we thought, well, that's a one-off. We didn't have the money to do it in 2013. And then we just thought, well, let's try and do it in 2014. So we did it 14, 15, all the way through to 2020, when we couldn't do that one because of COVID. In 2015, our biggest trip had 96 taxis on it and 310 persons on it. I think we were in 3 hotels, and during that liberation, I'm sure we were hated by the Dutch people because they kept getting stuck behind the convoy and that couldn't actually get anywhere. So I did a couple of figures together because I wanted to just say something tonight, just to give a little bit of the history of the trips. We've approximately assisted, and some veterans have been on the trips more than once, let's put it kindly, but we probably had over 1,000 veterans out here on all of our trips, and that is nearly 500 cab journeys, 500 different taxis have come. So I think that's quite an achievement in itself. Again, you know, we're so pleased to be welcomed by the Dutch people, and then we started coming to Wandeltop, and then we started coming back to Market Garden as well. I'd always come to Market Garden, but we started coming back on a more regular basis, bringing the veterans with us. And like I say, the welcome here is just, you know, absolutely wonderful. So, you know, we enjoy coming back. It's not the same in Normandy, but there you go. Can't do everything. You know. So, sorry, I think Stefan and Maxine might be here. So I do apologise, but they do more than their bit for us. So, I'll shut up in a minute. Got an absolutely great team with us. Thank you for the award. The backbone of a lot of what I do is Susie, because she puts it all together. The admin, so the admin, the design, and the ideas for working in like patterns and working in tandem all come from Susie, and what have you. Thanks to the committee, because they sort of let me get away with quite a lot, and I just sort of tell them we're doing it, and any chance of voting on that later. What have you. That seems to work. And on the particular trips, we've had Christina, our PR lady, working for us now for 8 years. She has turned the charity around. As been mentioned, we won the best voluntary charity in 2015 from the National Lottery. Everyone asked us what we did with the money, and we had to tell them that sadly we'd get more on the first hour work doing a collection of Canary Wolf than the National Lottery actually gave us. And that was quite a shock to some people after the way it was all televised everywhere. And then I think it was 2018, someone will correct me, but we then won the Queen's Award for Voluntary Charities, which was marvellous to get that. Just want to say thank you to the committee. We are a good working team, a lot of different ideas coming in, and we just get on with it. The collections bring us the money in, and we've got some of our collectors here now, and we've got to thank them, because without them we wouldn't have the money to come on these trips. So, thank you for the collectors. Thank you also to the paramedics who come and give their time voluntary on our trip. Again, you know, without them we'd be in a completely different position. On these particularly, on the Dutch liberation, last few years, we worked with Henk in the early days, who actually saw yesterday. But thanks go to Harry and Joe for their work and putting it together and slotting us in to what goes on the actual days, whatever. I know it probably drives them both mad, but we get there. All of our Dutch friends for a wonderful friendship and support. The support from the British Embassy and from Keith, and especially Joanna, which is absolutely wonderful. We've started going to the embassy on our last few trips, so that's absolutely great. And I was very proud this year. We, in connection for the last few years with a veterans group in Lancashire, they're supported by British Aerospace Systems and British Aerospace. We got together with them and they flew 5 of them over this morning in an executive jet, landed at Visa, and they managed to get into the parade, and they've gone home again now. I mean, so, you know, it shows you what you can do with a bit of effort and just sort of trying and whatever, because there's no way you would have been able to do that commercially, basically. So that's it. Thank you very much. Thanks for all your wonderful friendship and support. It's absolutely wonderful. Oh, Collins. Table tennis. Oh yeah, sorry. Again, thank you to the wonderful drivers. Like I say, I've worked out it's nearly 500 different taxi journeys that have just, and that is just for Dutch Liberation. That's not for Market Garden and Wandletop and the other events that we come over here for. So thank you, drivers, because as you know, we can't do this without you. There's no way we could do this. You give up your time. You give up your time, the garages support us, they let you take the cabs away. We tell them that we have breakdown and that we hope they believe us, but you know, we do. So managed to get all the cabs home again eventually. Whatever, and I think that's it. I'll end there. I do want to say, if anybody wants them, we've got about 500 Dutch Liberation badges going cheap, if anyone wants to make us an offer for them. And last but not least, because I see some new faces in the room, don't always know that I can't resist telling this one. My father came into the Netherlands. He was with 7th Field Regiment, British 3rd Division. He was south of here. And he always used to say to me when I was young, the Dutch are wonderful people. But of course, he's never driven on your motorways. Yeah. Thank you very much.
He's a jolly good fellow, he's a jolly good fellow, he's a jolly good fellow. So say all of us, he's a jolly good fellow, he's a jolly good fellow, he's a jolly good fellow. That's all say all of us. Many congratulations, Dick, and of course Susie a bit. I think we better start the meal, because I can hear some rumbling going on here and there, so I suppose you're hungry. Thank you, Mayor Vermeulen. Thank you, Mayor Schaap, for this evening. I wish you a good job for the rest of the evening.
Going to be incredibly rude.
Yeah, we understand. And thank you for having us in Wageningen. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy your meal. Thank you. And before I forget, we'll have music by the United Sisters.